I'm Jaimee Francis, a features editor at JURIST and a law student at Boston University. Today, I will be interviewing Ukraine correspondent MariIa Lazareva to get her unique perspective on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. This is part of an ongoing series of interviews with our Ukraine correspondents who include law students and young lawyers with ties to Ukraine. MariIa is studying in Kiev and is currently living there. MariIa, will you please tell us more about yourself?
Sure. Today I'm a newly minted graduate, but when the war started, I was a fourth-year student at the Institute of International Relations of Shevchenko National University of Kiev. I was pursuing a degree in Bachelor of International Relations. I was receiving the highest scores in my university, so I was ranked #1 among all students of the faculty, and therefore I was awarded with the merit scholarship for my academic achievements. I have always been dreaming about becoming a politician and helping give back to my motherland and promoting international law and rule of law, both in my home country and abroad. At the time the invasion started, I was an intern in the government Office for Coordination of European and Euro-Atlantic Integration. And as I have recently realized, then I was living my best life, and a lot of things changed on 24th of February.
Thank you for the introduction, MariIa. Can you please tell us more about how your life has changed since the 24th of February, and also how did you learn about the invasion and what were your initial thoughts?
Well, I was woken up by the sound of powerful explosions near my house around 5 a.m. on 24th February, and I realized that the full-scale war was started by Russia. As during last several months, a lot of experts, as well as the American intelligence services, they predicted that this war is to commence. So the Russian invasion of Ukraine has torn my life apart, and but it has also reaffirmed my aim to be a future change maker and to make a contribution to my society in every way possible. I decided to stay in Ukraine. I decided to continue my studies with flying colors, regardless of constant shellings, bombings, and constant death nearby. So I decided to become a professional and to perform a decent representation of Ukraine in the international arena. From the first day of war, I realized that I cannot stay apart from all this sorrow. People around me are suffering, and I decided to start volunteering and helping Ukrainians in need. So for this more than 4 months of full-scale war, I'm working hard to address the needs of our army, of the territorial defense forces. By the way, my father and my uncles, they are involved in this territorial defense movement from the first day of war. And to be honest, on the morning of 24th of February, I have also called this special service of territorial defense, and I asked, what should I do to get weapons, to get to be involved in this movement, and they unfortunately they denied, because I'm a lady and I had no experience of war experience, and they answered me that we will write down your phone number, and maybe if we will need some help, we will call you back. But I understood that that is a denial. My relatives. They are in territorial defense forces. So I believe that it is my duty to show the courage, to show the strength during such dark times and adversities. That is why I left in Ukraine, and I'm not planning to leave it until all this hell finish.
Thank you for sharing this, especially about the volunteer opportunities in Ukraine. And I wanted to ask if you have any recommendations for how individuals abroad can get involved in the effort.
Well, the most important thing is to continue telling the truth about what is going on, to share this information with all your friends, and to remember that here in the center of Europe, by the way, in Ukraine, there is a center, a geographical center of Europe. So we have this point, special point. So Ukraine is Europe, and there is no doubt about this. We have recently got this candidate status to join the European Union. I beg you and all our foreign friends to remember that the war is still on, that the Russian Federation is continuing to commit genocide and to kill us just because we are Ukrainians. What about my recommendations? I suppose that it is just being active, being aware of all of this, and participate in all our initiatives, because social media is a very powerful instrument, and these developments which are going on in Ukraine, it has proven this. We all are united through Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, so on and so forth. That is why I would like to say that every euro, every dollar is of extreme importance, and it may save life of our soldiers, of our civilians. So please participate in all these initiatives. Please stay in contact with your Ukrainian friends, because now we are fighting for freedom, and we share the same values as the United States of America and the European Union, and now we are fighting for the civilized world. So I see it like a civilized world and Russia. So that is the war between these counterparts, but Ukraine is fighting for the whole civilized world. That is why I ask all of you to do your best to participate in all this, to donate money. By the way, you know, recently our civil society, our volunteer organization headed by Sergei Pritula, we have collected $10 million in 24 hours to buy a special flying weapon Bayraktar. And you know, it may sound unrealistic, it's like a fairy tale, but that's what we have done by our hands, by the hands of ordinary people, of our businesses, of our politicians and change makers. And just 5 days ago, if I'm not mistaken, 5 days ago, we have bought 4 Bayraktars, but this Turkish company decided to grant this for free because of our activity. So we will buy 8 Bayraktars just for our money. So as I have already mentioned, every euro, every dollar is of great importance.
Thank you for the recommendations. I did want to ask you, now that we are over 4 months into this conflict, how do you think it has changed over time, from the initial days you were talking about to current? Have you seen any changes?
Unfortunately, the world community is getting less and less interested in this topic, and the statistics also prove this fact that during the first months of war, there were about 70,000 requests on the net about what is going in Ukraine. Now this number has diminished to even less, 4,000 or 3,000. So people are getting tired of all of this. They are donating less, they are participating less, and they are not being so aware of what is going on every day. Such unpleasant statistics we see nowadays. What about Ukrainians? Well, most of my friends, of my colleagues in this volunteer movement, we are fighting the same as we fought during the first days. So we are very tired, to be honest. It is the 5th month of full-scale war has started several days ago, 5 days ago. So more than 4 months we are living in a full-scale war realities. Well, the occupiers were going to capture most of our country on the 5th day, but have to stage such missile show on the 5th month, which does not change anything strategically for Russia. And without a doubt, this is a very morally difficult, emotionally difficult phase of war. But we all know that the enemy will not succeed. We understand that we will still be able to defend our state, but we do not feel the time limits of this. We do not feel how many more strikes, losses, efforts will be before we see that victory is already on our horizon. But we still are strong. We have to stay, we have to fight, we have no other option. It's our motherland, and just like this.
Yeah, and so I know that you stayed in Ukraine the whole time, which was a bit unusual. And so I wanted to ask you, have you been seeing more refugees returning to the country?
To be honest, the statistics are also horrible. More than 10 million people who they have been fled have been made fled from their homes, and well, a lot of students, a lot of academics, they moved to continue their work, to continue their studies abroad. But I strongly believe that a lot of them will come back. When I'm talking to my friends who have moved abroad, they all tell me that they are going to return to Ukraine, to their family members who left in Ukraine. That is why, of course, there is a brain drain now. A lot of students decided to permanently move abroad, but it is extremely important for our Western partners to help Ukrainians smoothly transit back to their alma maters, to their homeland, if and when circumstances allow. So when people will be safe here. So I strongly believe in bright future of my Ukraine, and we hope we have all the perspective for our future. And I have no doubt that my children, they will live in free, independent, and prosperous Ukraine, while our eastern neighbor, so-called neighbor Russia, do not have this bright future. I suppose they do not have future at all. where artists, journalists, IT workers, academics, so the brightest Russians' minds, they are leaving their country en masse, and they are not going to return to Russia.
Thank you for sharing, Maria. I know you talked a little bit about what you expect for Ukraine, and I always like to end off with asking, what are your hopes for the future of Ukraine? If you could give us a little more detail about what you see in the future.
Well, I have mentioned that I'm an intern in the governmental office for coordination of European and Euro-Atlantic integration. That is why I'm working in the field of international relations and international law. We have already, we were granted with this candidate status to become the member of the European Union. So therefore, I believe in our European future. Maybe it will be in 10 years. Of course, it won't be tomorrow, but I believe that Ukraine will become a member of the European Union. I believe that the war will finish, and it will finish with our victory. I believe in civilized world, and I believe in international rules-based international order and international law. I know that yesterday the NATO summit has started, and I really hope for Western leaders and for their decisions, so we will be able to overcome all these authoritarian challenges together. I should say that I believe that Western response to Russian invasion of Ukraine wasn't adequate during the first months of war, and we needed more weapons, we needed more sanctions on Russia, and the West handed this initiative to Russia and allowed Moscow to dictate the pace. That is why we should be more decisive, and all in all, the future of Ukraine is going to become bright. Even if now we may be killed any moment, even now when I'm giving this interview to you, I don't know what will happen in the next several minutes. Our reality is constant bombings, shellings, and air sirens. By the way, I can demonstrate you the sound we are living with, and it wake us up in the middle of the night and during the whole day. So I can't say that we got used to it, because it's unreal to get used to such a reality, but we are trying to live with it. We are trying to do our best. We are trying to imitate the normal living, but to be honest, it's just the imitation. We are not okay. Well, here is the sound.
Увага! Повітряна тривога. Пройдіть в найближче укриття.
So that's the way we live for more than 4 months.
Yeah, thank you for sharing all of that, and we all hope that a resolution will be in the future, and thank you again for all of your insight.